Thank you so much. We appreciate all of you attending this morning's press conference. I'm Mike Gusweiler, president of the West Michigan Sports Commission, and we're here today really celebrating the Meijer State Games of Michigan, the 4th annual Meijer State Games of Michigan to be exact. And they're taking place this June 21 through 23, and what a better setting than being here in the Meijer store at Cascade and in the sports department. The state games are a signature event of the West Michigan Sports Commission, bringing economic activity to the area through visitor spending and also adding to our quality of life through the many different sports that are offered to all ages. However, these games are representing much more than just visitors and spending to our area. Through our many partners, including the Governor's Council on Physical Fitness, Michigan Fitness Foundation, they represent the importance of activity, health, and good nutrition as we participate in the fight of childhood and adult obesity and the many health complications that are tied with obesity. We do this through good-natured competition and through the fun of sports. So with that, it's my pleasure to introduce the Lieutenant Governor of our great state of Michigan to share his comments and the proclamation from the Governor's office. So please join me in welcoming Lieutenant Governor Brian Kelly.
Well, thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to be with you to celebrate and honor the kickoff of what has become such an outstanding event. So impressive to see the summer games and to look now at the expansion, how much better it will be for people, for the kids in the state of Michigan to have this opportunity to build the camaraderie, the teamwork, the commitment to excellence, and ultimately health and physical fitness, which is the state's main interest in what happens here today. So I have here a proclamation from the Governor for the Meijer State Games of Michigan, the official state games of the state of Michigan. Whereas the Meijer State Games of Michigan are officially recognized as a United States Olympic Committee State Games program participant and are part of a nationwide network of state games. And whereas patterned after the Olympics, the annual competition embodies the values of participation and sound sportsmanship and promotes good nutrition and healthy living among Michiganders. And whereas each year, the 3-day event draws thousands of athletes from more than 60 Michigan counties to participate in sports events, regardless of age or ability, hundreds of residents and corporate partners come together to volunteer their time and finances in support of individual and community health and wellness. And whereas the Great Lakes State prepares for another successful event, we raise awareness of the important role of the Meijer State Games of Michigan in building a stronger and healthier state. We encourage all citizens to learn more about and participate in Meijer State Games of Michigan. Now, therefore, Rick Snyder, Governor of Michigan, hereby proclaims the Meijer State Games of Michigan the official state games of our state.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Kelly. Appreciate that. It's wonderful to be recognized by the Governor's office, by the state of Michigan as well, and it's a wonderful event to recognize as well. We couldn't accomplish the success of the Meijer State Games over these past 3 years without our key partner in Meijer and the Meijer Stores family. Through their focus on community and good nutrition, they've served as an ideal partner in these games. And I'd like to thank and welcome to the podium at this time co-chairman of Meijer, Mr. Doug Meijer.
Thank you so much for coming today to help us celebrate what's become such a fun-filled, a fun-filled event for thousands of families and athletes throughout the state of Michigan. Meijer began supporting the Michigan State Games in 2010 because it fits so well with our company philosophy of supporting the communities and the families where our team members work and live. This signature event, put on by the West Michigan Sports Commission, evokes such a strong sense of community and pride in the participants as well as the thousands of spectators who attend. That's why I'm proud today to announce that Meijer is committed to sponsor the state games of Michigan for another 3 years. And I'd like to thank the West Michigan Sports Commission for putting on such a great event and being such a great partner, as well as to the talented and spirited athletes who compete and their families who watch them and are proud of them. So thank you all for coming. We appreciate this opportunity, and good luck to all the athletes. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Doug, and our thanks again to Meijer Stores. You truly are an important partner in these games. I'm going to ask you to stay up here with me. As is tradition in the Meijer State Games and at our press conferences, we like to recognize our athletes of the year from previous games. And so to do that, I'm also going to ask to come up Mr. Jim Hegland. Jim is the chair of the Meijer State Games Committee. He's been involved in the games as a tournament director in Taekwondo, and Jim is going to lead us in awarding our 2012 Athletes of the Year. Jim.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. What a great day for 3 exceptional athletes and 3 outstanding citizens of the young citizens, may I add, of the state of Michigan. As chair of the Oversight Committee for the Meijer State Games, I am honored, along with Mr. Doug Meijer, to be presenting the 2012 Athlete of the Year Awards. The first athlete we would like to recognize is the Youth Athlete of the Year. Hold on. Being born with an AV malformation, which is an abnormal connection of the arteries and veins in the brain, caused an aneurysm at 2 weeks of age that left this young man epileptic and doctors wondering if he could ever walk or talk. Having 2 older brothers that wrestle has pushed him to defy all odds and become this year's Youth Athlete of the Year. In the 2011 Meijer State Games, he won bronze, and by placing 8 at My Way Nationals in 2012, he became an All-American wrestler at the age of 11. Since then, he finished with a silver medal in the 2012 Meijer State Games after suffering from a grand mal seizure just 3 days prior to competition. Not many adults, let alone children, could overcome the obstacles that this young man has been faced with. He not only leads by his determination, but he also leads by example among his peers in school. He receives straight A's in his classes and plans to write a book for other children to inspire them to always follow their dreams. Derek Nix has been chosen the 2012 Athlete of the Year for his outstanding courage, hard work, and determination to never give up, defying all odds. Derek.
I want to thank you for this honor. I know a lot of kids are deserving of such an award, and I'm humble that you chose me. My grandfather told me once that I was someone's hero, his hero. I have many heroes in my life, my brothers, Scott and Cody, my grandparents, coaches, and teachers. Most don't wear medals, but I will wear this one proudly and show what wrestling has taught me and so many others. Never give up in the face of a challenge. Thank you.
Very good job. The next athlete we want to recognize is the Female Athlete of the Year. This next young lady is one of the premier lacrosse players to come out of the area. She was East Grand Rapids' leading scorer all 4 years in high school, All-State 3 years, and All-American for 2 years. At 5'11", this young woman plays with so much confidence that not many people can hang with her on the field. She shows exemplary sportsmanship on and off the field, day in and day out. Because of her determination and passion for the game, this year's 2012 Female Athlete of the Year goes to Lauren Hooker. Now, unfortunately, Lauren can't be here today. She actually got injured this weekend playing lacrosse at college. We don't know the extent of the injury, but we'll be sure to let's wish her well, and we'll be sure to give her her award when she comes back. Now, last but not least, the male athlete of the year. This next gentleman has been actively competing in Taekwondo for 16 years and is currently a teacher and student at Vora Institute of Tay Park Taekwondo. He epitomizes the spirit of the sport and the spirit of competition for the betterment of the body, mind, and humanity. He is a class act in all aspects and a great role model for all of his students. This gentleman earned gold medals in the art of forms inspiring in the 2010 Meijer State Games and returned in 2012 to earn a gold medal and 2 bronze medals. He practices the sport for self-improvement and to give back to others. He is a promoter of the existence of humanity in peace and joy. And because of his attitude, spirit, and respect for the sport, the 2012 Meijer State Games Male Athlete of the Year goes to Mr. Russell Williams.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank God for giving me the ability to do the things that I do and be so involved in Taekwondo. And I'd like to thank my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, and my wife who couldn't be here today, and as well as her family who's always supported me. I'd like to thank my instructors, Master Arvin Vora, who's been teaching me for over the years, along with Master Valerie Lucas and Master Jim Hegeland and Master Robert Bars. I always thought of myself as an athlete by default, but I think what this award shows me is that it's not necessarily about how much you win or how many medals you get, but doing the best for yourself and for others. So my major driving force in my Taekwondo is my students. They encourage me to be the best that I can be so I can do the best for them. So I thank everyone that supported me, and thank you very much.
Thanks again, Jim, and thank you again, Doug Meijer. And congratulations to the Athletes of the Year. Your wonderful representation of what the Meijer State Games in Michigan mean, and we hope that you will be back to compete again in 2014 as well as this year. Putting on 3 to 4 days of Olympic-style games, including over 30 sports and well over 5,000 athletes, takes invested and committed partners. But equally, it takes hundreds of passionate and dedicated volunteers. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Ron Baum, West Michigan Sports Commission board member and tournament director for high school ice hockey, to come up and introduce our 2012 Volunteer of the Year.
Morning, everyone. If Grand Rapids ever institutes a community volunteer hall of fame, Jim Hahn deserves to be in the inaugural class of that group. Volunteering is not new to Jim. Having parents who are here with us this morning who were great role models during Jim's youth, he began to give back to others during his high school years at Grand Rapids Christian High, where he was actually the manager. I don't know how he did this, but amazing that he was a manager of 12 different sports teams during his 4 years there. After college, Jim continued to volunteer for many local runs in some of the communities here in West Michigan, including the Grand Rapids Riverbank Run. He's also very active in various ministries at his church and has helped in last year's U.S. Transplant Games hosted by the West Michigan Sports Commission. 3 years ago, I came to Jim and asked him if he'd be interested in helping us launch high school hockey at the Meijer State Games of Michigan. It was our first year. Immediately, he jumped on board and was one of our 2 key welcoming committee members. And during his 3 years in this position, and fortunately for us, his 4th year coming up, he's welcomed and has done an outstanding job, literally hundreds of athletes, coaches, parents, and fans to the venues that we use here in West Michigan to host our sport. Jim's been more than willing to do whatever it takes to make the Meijer State Games successful and also to be a great experience for everybody who participates from all over Michigan. Can't say enough about the job that he has done and the many comments that I have received through this great thing called email from people literally all over the state of Michigan after they've gone home and reflected on their experience here during this weekend. So on behalf of the West Michigan Sports Commission, Jim, and just literally the hundreds of people that you have touched so far in your time with us, it's an honor for me to present the 2012 Meijer State Games of Michigan Volunteer of the Year Award. Jim Hahn.
Lieutenant Governor Kelly, Eric, Mike, Katie, State Games volunteers and instructors, coaches, Derek, Lauren, and Russell, Mr. Meijer, Store Director Gabe, and other Meijer employees, Coach Baum and the high school leadership team. Thank you for this award. I was sharing with Eric this morning, I about fell off my chair when he actually called me to award me this thing. It was interesting. I had just emailed him asking him if he needed volunteers for something, and I thought he was calling me to talk about that, and instead gave me this award. But as Ron said, I learned at an early age it's important to give back. God's given me a lot of talents, a lot of love for people, and that's why I enjoy doing what we're doing. The one thing I will say, though, and give me just a minute to talk about someone else here, Ron Baum, who gave me this award, has had a great impact on my life, but also on high school students. And the other thing I'll tell you about Ron is 2 of the 3 years Volunteer of the Year have come off his committee because he does such a good job leading. I've enjoyed every minute of it. We've got some exciting times coming, more events happening. We're always looking for volunteers, so come join us and have some fun with us in June.
Congratulations, Jim. It is volunteers like Jim that make the operations and the success of the games continue to go on, as well as the other events that the West Michigan Sports Commission gets involved in. So thank you again. Now to announce the new sports and details around the 2013 Meijer State Games in Michigan, and to make an additional exciting announcement, it's my pleasure to hand things off to an individual who has put a great deal of time, planning, and has added to the success of what these games represent and what they are. I'd like to introduce to you the Executive Director of the Meijer State Games of Michigan, Mr. Eric Engelberts.
Thank you, Mike. The Meijer State Games of Michigan is a multi-sport Olympic-style event that welcomes athletes regardless of age or ability. The games embody the values of participation, sportsmanship, and healthy living among the residents of the state of Michigan. This event is truly a grassroots movement featuring an estimated 750 volunteers and needing the support of the corporate community to provide Michigan residents an Olympic experience that motivates them to remain active throughout the year. The 2013 Meijer State Games of Michigan Summer Games will be held June 21st through the 23rd. The 4th annual event will feature 5 new sports, bringing the total to 36 sporting competitions. The 2013 new sports editions include badminton, to be held at Byron Township Community Center, diving at East Kentwood High School, field hockey, flag football at Rockford High School, and ultimate frisbee, also at East Kentwood High School. In addition to these new sports, we will continue to expand on our existing sports lineup to include a 5K, which will start inside of Fifth Third Ballpark and finish in our Athlete Village. A high school girls basketball division, girls 19 and under ice hockey division, a boys lacrosse, singles in our pickleball, and finally a girls only wrestling division. With these new additions, we are expecting to welcome over 6,000 athletes to compete in this summer's Olympic-style sports festival. For a complete listing of the 2013 State Games of Michigan sports and venues, please visit our website. Also new this year is a National Anthem contest, which will feature singers throughout the state submitting YouTube videos of their best version of the National Anthem. The top 3 finalists' videos will be posted to the Meijer State Games of Michigan Facebook page for a public vote. The winner will perform the National Anthem at the opening ceremonies held on Friday, June 21st, 7 p.m. at Fifth Third Ballpark. Okay, now for the new exciting announcement on the 2014 event. In preparation for this announcement, our staff has done some extensive research on dates, venue availability, as well as a site visit to the Iowa Sports Foundation in 2011. All of this research has led to the following addition to the Meijer State Games. In February of 2014, West Michigan will host the inaugural Meijer State Games of Michigan Winter Games. With this announcement, Michigan will become the 10th out of 30 state games organizations that will offer Winter Games. Winter Games will feature sports that take place during the winter months, allowing the Meijer State Games of Michigan to provide year-round incentive for Michigan residents to stay active and improve lifestyles that can lead to a better quality of life. More details, including event dates, sports lineup, and venues, will be available this fall of 2013. In closing, I would like to thank the Lieutenant Governor Kelly for his support, the Meijer family and corporation for their continued support over the next 3 years, as well as the rest of our corporate sponsors that are listed on our board and our website. And congratulations to the athletes and the Volunteer of the Year for their remarkable accomplishments. At this time, we'll be able to offer it up to any one-on-one interviews, and I thank you all for attending. And if we can get the athletes and the Volunteer of the Year up here, we'd like to take a couple of pictures before we take off. So thank you all for your coming.